Hello, my name is Jeremy Ridyard. I'm the Managing Director and owner of Produmax. Produmax was incorporated in 1966. We manufacture flight control components for the aerospace industry on virtually any commercial aircraft, and the ejector seat components for military aircraft. So Produmax knew about the change to the standard, and we quizzed our auditor Dave Harvey at the previous audit, what's coming, what's happening. Our lead quality assurance manager, Mark Jessing, came down to the BSI, did a 2-day survey visit looking at what were the changes, looking at the gap analysis, then did a lot of research on the internet looking at the original ISO standards, what's changed, what does Produmax really need to do, presented those gap analyses to the board, and from there we started to filter through the management team and management reviews, analysing which areas in our business system didn't match the standard, where we needed to beef it up a little bit. The training was invaluable. Mark came back with a massive list of questions and statements as to what we really needed to do as a board, and as you can imagine, board members are the slowest to change and take on new things. So after the initial arguments, and we said no, we don't need to do it, we sat down and really started to work through a really robust project plan. I think the biggest thing that Mark presented back to us was the looking at the risk assessment coming forward, looking at your environment, looking at all of your stakeholders, and really saying, well, are we covering the top end of the company before we get into the relevant business processes and KPI? Because we were very early, we're both learning, your auditors are learning, we're learning. So initially we put together our take on what we thought was the new standard, sent it to BSI. We had a fantastic conference call with Dave Harvey, our auditor, where we could look at a rate readiness. He took all the documentation, gave us some great pointers, so we had a couple of months before the audit, whilst it was fresh in our mind, take it back to the board and say, right, Dave has identified these areas of gaps in the analysis. Without that, it wouldn't have gone anywhere near as smoothly as the final audit did. When we were doing the work, it was extremely difficult. It was a very deep process, but one that at the end of it, we came out with a fantastic comprehensive system of analysing risks within and outside our business. I think that the bit that really hit home for the directors level was, why do our customers buy from us? What is it about Produmax? Is it our performance, our image, our exposure, and the initial assessment that it's all about price? And when we started to drill into it, price was the last thing on the list. It was about the Produmax image, the quality standards, our processes were the bits that were the reason why they buy from us, because we are a low risk. They can get cheaper product from India, China, Poland, but they can't get it reliably day after day, on the day, when they want it, in the right place, at the right quality. And that's the reason they buy from us, not because of a simple pricing issue, which we're fully aligned, and we can drive that through the business and explain to everybody, this is who we are, this is why the customers buy from us, and this is how we're going to react when the customer rings. I think that 9100 standard and the Rev D gives them that real comfort now that you've thought of all your risks, you are going to deliver on time, and you're going to deliver reliable quality. Now, Produmax are in the business for supplying aerospace components globally, so 85% of the products we make are shipped overseas. So we have Malaysia, Morocco, Canada, North America, Japan, and within that there are a lot of trade regulations. We make military components, which is ITAR regulation, so that the cyber security side of it is now critical going forwards, and everybody in business, the main risk is cyber attack. So we're looking at how do we change or embed our security systems, particularly the IT systems, particularly around the US military requirements. Yeah, I think from the Produmax process, we started as early as we could possibly have started. So it's probably a 2-year transition. It isn't planning for a 2-day audit. You start now, and all of the things that we've put in place were immediate improvements. Looking at the risk assessment, why wait 2 years or 18 months to have a risk that you're going to assess because you've got an audit? If the risk's there, do it now and start as much as you can as early as possible. And the critical bit is get the board fully aligned to realising what the standard is and seeing it as a benefit to the business rather than something you have to pass for an audit. So research to get as much advice as possible. There's lots on the internet, there's BSI who are always got open ears to come and help you. And the second bit is really get close to your auditor. He's the person who can give you the closest advice. They're the ones who've been through the audits, they've seen things live of what good companies do, and can pass on a lot of really good advice. So it is start early, do your research, and really get close and work as a team with BSI. I think really just to reiterate, it is a team. It isn't Produmax versus BSI. We don't view the BSI auditor as anyone other than part of our team. So when the auditor comes into Produmax, he's part of our team. He's there to help us to identify what's happening, and we don't view him as an alien who's in there to keep the data away from him. It's really important that that auditor-client relationship is extremely strong, and I do feel now that we have got that, and we will bounce ideas, and you're always available just to have a chat on the phone, send a few documents through, give a bit of advice so that it makes the audit as smooth as possible at the end. And I think that relationship is one that I'm certainly keen to develop over the coming years.